Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Monday, the 19th day of January. This is CTV News. Tonight, off the grid, heavy snow leaves tens of thousands in the dark. Frozen for now. New Brunswick property tax could be higher next year. And preserving the past, an important family relic is donated to a local museum.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News.
About 24 hours after it started, the cleanup from our latest nor'easter is continuing in many parts of the region tonight. Halifax, which had no notable snow right through Christmas, became a winter wonderland overnight. And the travel troubles were just the beginning of the issues that were being dealt with today. Scenes like this playing out again and again all over the region as the power grid struggled and failed under the weight of tree branches laden with snow. Bible Hill Fire and Emergency called to reports of trees on fire in Village Court, and this is what they found around 7 o'clock this morning. Good evening. About 24,500 Nova Scotia Power customers are still off the grid, but it was a cold, dark day for a great many others who lost power in the big storm. The heavy snow also resulted in the usual rounds of cancellations and closures. Here's CTV's Callum Smith.
Nova Scotia power crews were left battling scenes like this: downed wires and scattered outages. 140,000 homes or businesses, or about 25% of the utility's customers, lost power at the storm's peak.
They kept on changing the restoring time from 7:45 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then to 2:45 p.m. and now it's supposed to be now 6 p.m.
We definitely understand that power outages can be frustrating for customers. We know that in this event, the heavy, wet snow has stuck to trees and it's caused them to come into contact with our power lines.
The utility also blaming poor road conditions this morning, making the job even more difficult. There were several collisions and big rigs getting stuck across the province, closing some highways. But Nova Scotia Power acknowledges the impact was greater than first thought.
We have seen a higher number of power outages today than we had anticipated.
In Sydney, transit services had a delayed start while the cleanup took place. Schools across Nova Scotia were closed, but for some students, it was work before fun.
I got out of bed right away. I ate breakfast. I saw my dad doing the driveway, so I came out after eating. And then I helped him for a little bit, and then I started playing with my toys to make a tunnel for them.
Some are losing hope that a bigger, long-term fix like underground power lines will come.
I'm living in Halifax since last 8 years now, and this is the story of every year.
Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Get the Maritimes top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
RCMP in the Halifax area looking for help in locating a suspect in connection with a carjacking incident last night. This happened on French Village Station Road in Upper Tantallon. Police say the driver of a Ford Transit van was pulled from the vehicle by a man who then drove off toward Highway 103. The victim was not hurt, and the vehicle was later located in Ingramport. Suspect said to be in his 30s, about 5'10", with a slim to medium build. He was wearing dark clothing and a face mask. Anyone with information is being asked to contact police. RCMP in the Moncton area warning the public about the reappearance of counterfeit Canadian money circulating around the city. Police say they've received a number of reports of phony 20s, 50s, and $100 bills. In many cases, a dead giveaway is the transparent security window. Instead of a clean holographic feature there, some bills have kind of a dull, misaligned sticker or a foil overlay placed on top of the window. Sometimes the sticker is peeling at the edges. The serial numbers are misaligned. A 41-year-old man was arrested in connection with one incident last week. Police are urging everyone to report other suspicious bills or transactions. The Jansen Baker double murder trial resumed in Moncton today. The jury hearing testimony from two forensic experts, including details about videos and photos taken at the crime scene. Baker has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the shooting deaths of Bernard and Rosemarie Saunier in their home in September of 2019. The trial will continue tomorrow. Nova Scotia-based Serious Incident Response Team is investigating a couple of police-related shootings over the weekend. The chief of the Tobic First Nation has ordered the temporary closure of the RCMP detachment there after a band member was killed by officers. CTV's Nick Moore is in Western New Brunswick.
The RCMP says it was responding to a domestic disturbance call at a residence. In a written statement, the RCMP says a man with an edged weapon advanced towards officers and that an officer deployed a taser that was not effective. The RCMP says an officer then fired their service weapon, striking the male, who was later pronounced dead in hospital. The man who was killed has been identified by family and the First Nation as Bronson Paul.
This has to stop. And the RCMPs have to be accountable for what happened here, because this is not right. I am so mad. And Bronson Paul, my nephew, he was loved by a lot of people in this community. He has a big family here, and we love him.
Chief Ross Purley says there are protocols on Nagoodcook that local security accompany the RCMP on these types of calls.
And for whatever reason, that didn't happen yesterday, and this is the result of that. We're looking for a transparent investigation, one that includes Indigenous oversight. That's important.
This morning, New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt posted a video to her Facebook page reacting to the fatal shooting.
Our government has offered Chief Purley and Council our full support, and we will do our part to ensure the investigation proceeds in a transparent, timely, and appropriate manner to provide the answers the family and the community needs.
There's been no timeline provided on how long the CERT investigation will take. Nick Moore, CTV News, Nagoodcook First Nation.
Meantime, a man is in hospital with life-threatening injuries after being shot by police outside a grocery store in Halifax on Saturday. This happened on the busy Quinpool Road. Police say the 37-year-old man was armed with a knife and had just robbed a nearby liquor store. Rising crime rates and drug use is becoming worrisome to the local business community.
What I see and what my colleagues see in other districts and even other parts of the province is that it's rampant drug use, and it's not they don't try to hide it, and there's more a feeling of desperation. People seem to really desperately need to, steal from the liquor stores or find ways to get money either for drugs or alcohol.
Late this afternoon, police announced Brent Alexander Julian is facing a number of charges, including robbery and assaulting a police officer with a weapon. CERT is asking anyone with information or video evidence to reach out. Good news and bad news tonight about that makeshift medical unit inside an ambulance bay in the Chalmers Hospital in Fredericton. The good news is patients will be moved to a different wing of the hospital. The bad news could take months. 13-bed unit was created as an urgent solution to overcrowding in the hospital. It's been condemned for its lack of running water, bathrooms, and privacy. Horizon Health is promising those 13 beds will be moved inside the hospital, but other services have to move first. Then the ambulance bay will officially be renovated.
This will be an extension of the emergency department. It will provide some type of clinical care for emergency department patients as the renovations are undertaken.
So that again at the Chalmers Hospital, Melanson notes 142 patients there should be in long-term care, not a hospital, which is why they're trying to find those beds somewhere else. This time of year, of course, always anxious for homeowners in New Brunswick. It's when property assessments start showing up in the mail. The province's property tax freeze should keep bills in check right now, but as CTV's Laura Brown tells us, that is likely just a one-year deal.
It's that time of the year. Almost 500,000 property assessments were mailed out today. But this year is a little different.
So the freeze on the value for taxation is 1 year only.
The freeze is to allow for the ongoing overhaul of the entire property tax system, a promise by the Susan Holt government. It means no matter how much your assessment goes up or down, the tax will be the same as last year for the majority of property owners. Some may still go up depending on your community's tax rate.
Because of places like Fredericton that has frozen its inside rate, Rossay, Quispamsis, Moncton, Riverview, Dieppe, St. John, off the top of my head, hundreds of thousands of New Brunswickers are going to see the benefits of having a freeze on the value for taxation in 2026.
The freeze is good for 1 year only, meaning you may be on the hook for those tax increases next year. But property owners do have spike protection, which caps a yearly tax increase at 10%. A freeze can be tough on communities.
Investing in infrastructure, investing in recreation, investing in community development, all those things cost resources, and inflation doesn't stop just because there's an assessment freeze. So municipalities have to make decisions based on what they have.
The minister promises more on the tax reform will be unveiled in the spring, and you can still appeal your assessment. That deadline is February 18th. Laura Brown, CTV News, Fredericton.
Well, as the debate continues in southeastern New Brunswick over a proposed gas power plant, one community has put up its hand and said, "We'll take it." Municipality of Tantramar, the chosen site, has opposed the project for environmental reasons, but officials in Grand Lake say they would be happy to have the facility.
Our community is open for business. This area has powered the province for many years with coal. I believe that they look at the Moncton area due to the grid. I believe that if you have a community that doesn't want it and one that does want it, then you can work that grid out.
The mayor says the community already has some infrastructure in place, and hosting the plant could help boost the local economy during the building phase. He says council and most of the locals in Grand Lake have expressed support for the project. Good part of the world is enjoying quite the celestial show this evening. A large swath of the planet are seeing aurora borealis thanks to a large solar storm. Some say the biggest in more than 20 years. Well, it's too cloudy to see much of anything in the Maritimes. Some folks are getting a good view of the northern lights tonight. Tesla Ealer sent us these photos from Monastery, Nova Scotia. Pictures taken around 6 p.m. The show lasted about an hour. Tesla says the photos are not altered in any way, and they are truly spectacular. Look at those colors. Still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll offer up some mental health tips on this Blue Monday, which is said to be the saddest day of the years. Coming up next, though, feeling the squeeze.
What we had last year was the GST holiday, which means that when we compare to last year, prices this year look a lot more expensive.
Canadians continue to pay more and more for food and other essentials, but here in the Maritimes, we're paying even more than that. Details next.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Tomorrow is the big day. We're giving away our first of 30 trips to beaches, Turks and Caicos.
It's Move 100's Password to Paradise. Our first winner tomorrow at 7.
So Stats Canada today confirming what a lot of us already suspected. Prices continue to rise. Nationally, inflation jumped 2.4% from December to December. But as CTV's Jonathan McGuinness is about to show us, the numbers get worse here in our region.
Inflation data released today shows a slight increase nationally from December, settling at 2.4%, up from 2.2%. But inflation rates here in the Maritimes were higher than that. Prince Edward Island came in at 2.8%, while Nova Scotia and New Brunswick both saw increases of 3.1%. A senior economist with the left-leaning Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives says there's a reason inflation ticked upwards.
What we had last year was the GST holiday, which means that when we compare to last year, prices this year look a lot more expensive, but it's really a temporary effect that's going to go away once we get to the March data.
That tax holiday dropped prices on things like dining out, alcohol, and children's toys. Without it, prices this December can be a bit deceiving when compared to last year. Restaurant meals for one jumped 8.5%.
But when you actually adjust for that GST, HST holiday tax exemption, menu inflation is actually around 3.3%.
David McDonald doesn't think these inflation numbers will affect the Bank of Canada's interest rate, which is expected to be released next Wednesday. He predicts it'll stay right where it is now at 2.25%. Jonathan McGinnis, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, John. Time for a quick little break. When we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. The storm has moved on, but the cleanup continues. Kaylin Mitchell's got your forecast for the rest of the week when we come back. Okay, it's Monday night, 19th day of January. Were you satisfied? Was the nor'easter everything you could have dreamed of and more?
Odd question. Was I satisfied? Oh, I was happy the forecast worked out okay.
It did, actually, yeah.
Wasn't so thrilled, like I'm sure many people were out there shoveling that heavy, wet snow, because in a lot of cases, it was heavy and it was fairly weighty. It did take some effort to clear it out of the way. Parts of Nova Scotia picked up around 10 to 30 centimeters of snow. There were also some very high snowfall amounts reported. Parts of Kings and Queens County and Prince Edward Island. Snowfall reports in Prince County were a little bit lower, but some areas still up around the 10 centimeter mark. A few parts of the south of New Brunswick finished between 5 and 10 centimeters of snow. Graham and Ann picked up around 15 centimeters of snow. We still have a little bit in the way of some light snow and some flurries working its way across the Maritimes for this evening and tonight. This is very much so on the lighter side, especially compared to the snow that came through Sunday night into Monday morning. And in most cases, accumulations are expected to be either trace or up to around 1 to 5 centimeters locally. In the forecast for Tuesday, it's a mix of sun and cloud, and we will see some scattered flurries. The highest chance of flurries throughout the day will be around northern eastern areas of Nova Scotia. So Cumberland, Colchester, Hants counties and around the Minas Basin, North Shore, Eastern Shore, and Cape Breton, but there will also be a lower chance of some flurries into the southwest of Nova Scotia. Here's the look at some possible additional snowfall amounts to come as we make our way through the rest of tonight and for tomorrow. And again, you can see in a lot of cases trace amounts maybe up to around a few centimeters. Winds in the forecast for Tuesday. They're going to be out of the west and the northwest, and they're going to increase to become blustery in the afternoon with some fairly widespread gusts between 30 and 50, and we could have some peak gusts close to 60 on exposed areas of the coastline. It's going to be a colder wind for us as well. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for most of the Maritimes falling a few to several degrees below the freezing mark, even colder than that through the northern half of New Brunswick with some lows between -8 and -13. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow in the north of New Brunswick between -4 and -9. And with central and southern parts of that province with high temperatures mostly between -3 and -6. For Prince Edward Island on Tuesday, your afternoon high temperatures between -2 and -4, the mix of sun and cloud, that gusty west wind. Cape Breton tomorrow with highs between -2 and +1. And the same thing goes for the North Shore and Eastern Shore of Nova Scotia, +1 on the Eastern Shore. Cumberland, Colchester, Hants County, Halifax County for tomorrow, most of the high temperatures between -3 and 0, near 0. Coastal areas of Lunenburg County, Bridgewater around -1. -1 for Yarmouth and Barrington for tomorrow. In the Annapolis Valley, it's -2 around Kentville, Wolfville, and Middleton. Digby as well with a high temperature of around -2. In the extended forecast for New Brunswick coming up on Wednesday, some isolated flurries, temperatures a little bit colder, and then flurries in the forecast for Thursday. Now, speaking of cold, we have some bitterly cold air that's going to be arriving at the end of this week and around for the upcoming weekend, the start of next week. That begins Friday night. That'll knock low temperatures for New Brunswick into the -20s, and lows will be in the -20s through the weekend with the daytime high temperatures in the -teens. And for Nova Scotia in the outlook coming up on Wednesday, some flurries in the forecast, showers for Thursday, and then some flurries for Friday. Temperatures getting very cold into and through the upcoming weekend. Overnight lows well down to the -teens. Daytime highs likely to be several degrees below 0, some even near -10. And for Prince Edward Island in the forecast, we've got some flurries expected Wednesday night into Thursday. A few more flurries for Friday, and then the bitterly cold air that's going to be in place through the upcoming weekend into the start of next week. Bruce.
Right, Jara, my friend, we'll step aside for just a couple of minutes, but stay with us. There is more to come. So this is the third Monday of January, and it marks unofficially Blue Monday. It's deemed the saddest day of the year. Some say the whole thing is a myth, a marketing ploy, although the winter blues are still quite well documented. CTV's Emma Convey spoke with some of the experts today who shared some advice to get ahead of Blue Monday.
Sunshine and a fresh blanket of snow lifted spirits in Halifax. Busy streets suggest winter blues aren't winning today.
I feel like it's the happiest day I've had for a long time. This snow is amazing.
Classes are canceled. We're outside and getting to enjoy some lovely weather.
The third Monday of January is unofficially deemed the saddest day of the year. Registered psychologist Simon Sherry says the day itself is actually a myth, but the winter blues are quite real and can last all season.
Winter blues, a reasonable estimate might be 12 to 15% of the population in a place like Canada.
Sherry says the lack of sunlight this time of year is a main factor.
With darkness, it changes our entire circadian rhythm. And when that rhythm is off, it's easier to have low energy and low mood.
Finances can also contribute.
Stress levels seem to go up a little bit. First off, we don't have a holiday to look forward, but we have the ramifications of the holiday sometimes, right? So that could mean our credit card bills are starting to arrive.
There are ways to get back on track.
I think it's all in our mindset, right? So what can we control? We can control our spending.
And take action when you can.
The winter does bring on a lot of lonely feelings, and obviously seasonal affective disorder is real. So you can kind of see that happening with a lot of your friends. So it's important to check in with the people around you.
Trying to get out with the boys, our dogs here with us, and we just try to stay active.
Get some boots and some hiking gear and get out in the wilderness.
And look for the bright side. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
Coming up, a Maritime family donates an important piece to a local museum. First, though, it's your wake-up weather. Here's a live look near the Avenir Centre in Moncton, where it's currently -3. Kaylin Mitchell with everything you need to know for the morning is coming up next. Tuesday morning, 20th day of January. Let's kick it off with a look at the wake-up weather and Kaylin Mitchell.
Thank you, Bruce. And partly cloudy conditions with some isolated flurries to start the morning. And most temperatures early in the morning will be a few to several degrees below the freezing mark. For the afternoon, the highest chance of some further flurries will be for the province of Nova Scotia. We'll see a mix of sun and cloud for PEI and New Brunswick. Mind the wind, it's going to pick up for tomorrow. It's going to be gusty and out of the northwest. Bruce.
Thank you, Kaylin. Well, any way you look at it, the Carleton County Military Museum has gathered quite the collection over the years. As CTV's Avery McRae shows us tonight, the museum's latest acquisition is a First World War uniform donated by the soldier's son.
Dad belonged to the Woodstock, New Brunswick 26th Battalion.
Roger Way's father, Burns Way, fought for Canada in the latter half of the First World War. He served as a sniper in the trenches and even survived a bayonet stab, according to his son.
I would have to say maybe he felt like he lived a lifetime, actually, in the rigors and the horrors of the war.
The uniform has been in his possession for more than 50 years, but now at the age of 83, he wanted to ensure it would be well kept well after he's gone.
It'll get a lot more coverage by being here than it would be in somebody's perhaps closet.
Museum owner and operator Aaron Boma says the uniform itself is in mint condition and is thrilled to add what he says is a priceless artifact to his space that only opened in 2023.
This is a community project, and without the community, it wouldn't be as great as it is. Our history is important, and if we don't showcase it, if we don't preserve it, we could lose it.
But through the museum's work, that history won't be lost through time, and that now includes the story of Burns Way. Avery McRae, CTV News, Jacksontown, New Brunswick.
Okay, thank you, Avery. Just a reminder, if you joined us a little late tonight, or maybe you'd like to take a closer look at anything you've seen, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It's always your home for news. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us on this Monday night. Have a good evening. We sure hope to see you again tomorrow.